Good afternoon, and welcome to the Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. It is Monday, June 21st, and it is Juneteenth as far as the day and being recognizing. Hopefully, you had an opportunity to participate in many of the Juneteenth events that took place over the weekend. But before we get started with our member connection today, here's a word from one of our supporters.
Hey, it's T-Way here to let you know the COVID-19 vaccine is a safe, proven way to protect your family and you against the coronavirus. You may have questions about the new vaccines and want more information to make the best decision. That's why the Florida Division of Emergency Management partnered with local community leaders and created Vax305.com. Go to VAX305.com and get your questions answered and find out exactly where you can get vaccinated. Take care of your people and you. Get information to make the right decision. It's about more than you. Log on to VAX305.com.
And you can call them at 786-607-4033. That's fax 305-786-607-4033. And today, I just love doing these member connections because, we get to engage, in particular this last year, not being able to be in person and to really meet and greet and engage with one another. So we started this member connection, and our good friend, even though her name is Margaret Anglin, she runs Mr. Wireman Electrical. Mr. Wireman, Miss Margaret, how are you?
I am doing fantastic.
Well, every time I talk to you, you have that great really appreciate it, and you bring so much energy in everything that you do. Um, Here we are, June 21st, pretty much a year after COVID hit us. Tell folks who is Margaret Anglin, and tell them a little bit about Mr. Wireman, and then we're going to get into those challenges we've had in the last year.
So, like Eric said, my name is Margaret Anglin, and I am the owner of Mr. Wireman Electric, electrical contracting company that is run, operated by a black female in South Florida, um, taking care of all your electrical needs, helping you with your verticals. We take care of everything electrical except for utilities, no utilities, but we are dominating in the electrical space right now.
Okay, so now explain that to me when you say not taking care of utilities.
We don't do any underground, like fiber optics and things like that. That's what we don't
Okay.
do.
Okay. Now I understand utilities. Yeah, that makes sense. So how long have you been in business?
Well, we started in October of 2012. It was kind of like it was more time for us to go out on our own and just really started making a mark for ourselves. Knowledge was there, all the pieces were there. We were just shy, and then so October of 2012 we jumped into our own space.
Okay. And you said 2012, that's not that long ago. It's a few years for a minute. So what made you decide to get into the uh, um, electric?
So I was dragged in kicking and screaming. uh, I had my youngest child, and she was premature, and so I had challenges working and taking care of a premature child. So I made the conscious decision that, hey, rather than putting in all this extra headache for somebody else, why not putting it in for myself? So between my husband and I made the decision that why don't you resign from your job and let's start this together. And so I took on the role of I was going to be the neck. He could be the head, but I was going to be the neck. So I took on the role of I was going to do this. So that's how I got involved.
All right. So I know as you know, when we first started talking, we talked about the fact that it's been a year since the pandemic has, basically pretty much decimated businesses around the world, not just here in Miami, but around the world, throughout the country. And I know we've talked. You're on a lot of our weekly Zooms that we have on Tuesdays and Fridays. And you've talked about how Mr. Wireman has actually been very successful in doing business. So can you talk about how the pandemic has impacted you?
Yes. So Mr. Wyman was basically a service company where we enter into residents' home to help them take care of their challenges. My outlet is not working. I would like to install a new fan, things like those. Well, when COVID hit, we had to figure out. Nobody wanted us in their homes, and let's be honest, we didn't really want to be there because of the unstableness. So we had to, are we going to survive? So I remember that we had certifications and we knew how to do commercial work and stuff like that. So we pivoted from service into the new construction space. And that has taken off like rocket for us.
Okay, well, talk about that. You say you've been doing a service, which I understand. Like I said, putting up fans, doing electrical work in homes, and now you're pivoting to commercial. So explain the difference. And as you said, it's taken off for you. You realize you have these certifications. So I'm going to go back to explain the difference between doing service work versus commercial work, and then we're going to get into this other thing about being certified.
Okay. So when you do residential service work, you are in a closed space. You're in someone's home and you're under their conditions. When you do commercial work, you're in open space where the room is open. You have a lot more flexibility. You can control scheduling as far as manpower, making sure that there are not too many people in the space, and things like that. So that helped us to put our not to put our guys in jeopardy, but to put them in spaces where they felt comfortable, the client felt comfortable, and all the safety guidelines of which the CDC has put out, we were able to adhere to, getting our jobs done while keeping our employees safe. So we're on residential side, we did not control the environment. On commercial side, we had a better way of controlling the work environment. So that was why we pivoted to that.
Right. How many employees do you have roughly?
Currently 8.
Okay. So now, again, you talk about commercial space, you talk about being certified. So I know there's certification with Miami-Dade County, certification with Broward, Palm Beach, and the various school boards. So how has certification lent itself to you as a business?
Oh my goodness. It has blown my world. Oftentimes you hear a lot of people says, "Oh, I'm certified. I'm 8A. I'm this. I'm that." But it makes no sense. And I must confess that in the back end, in first I got these certifications because somebody says, "Oh, you're a woman-owned business. You should be certified." So I did, but I put them away. And when COVID hit, I realized the value of what I had. So I started to take those things out, dust them off, and I started to use that as my marketing tool. So I would call general contractors that were bidding school board work, that were bidding county work. And I would say to them, "Hey, I noticed that these projects have certain goals and certain criterias. Hey, I'm an electrical contractor, female, and by the way, I have all these certifications." So then I became a commodity that everybody wanted. So, your certifications can lead you into a bigger pool of small individuals, and that in itself can help you grow your business tremendously.
No, that's great. So, pandemic hit. You realize you got all these certifications, and you said you've taken off like a rocket. Managing that process, how has that been?
It's been challenging, um, in the sense that there is also um, shortage of labor. So that has been a challenge in getting the right individual in the right job. So unfortunately, we go through individuals to we're all constantly interviewing. We're always, somebody calls my office and says, hey, are you hiring? My answer is yes, because if I find the right individual, I will find a space for that individual. But when it comes down to the management part of it, that was for like the labor side of it. But even on the management part, I also had to pivot, because whereas I was just used to just processing invoices, now I had to come out with paper control. So I also had to reach out to individuals that have been through this to seek help, workshops. Thank God for Zoom, where people were teaching different things. And so we were able to help, they were able to help me out in those regards.
Right. And the one thing that causes businesses to fail is not having that paperwork together. And in particular with dealing with the school board certification, doing business with the government, it's really about having your paperwork. Can you stress that a little bit?
Okay, so you have, if what you don't know, you need to seek help for it, because when you're working with the school board, the government, just anything in the government space, they have a particular order in which they would like the invoices or whatever documents that they're requiring of you. There is a certain order in which you have to present it back to them. You don't send it to them, you just cause yourselves delay. For example, I just recently completed a project over at the Fort Lauderdale Airport Emergency Operations System Center, and I sent in my invoice because I thought, hey, I just sent you an AIA form. Okay, I'm waiting for my check, not realizing that I had to send backup. So I sent the backup, with all of that stuff, got paid. Then I go to my second invoice. So I just sent the invoice because I figured, hey, I already sent you all these documents, nothing has changed. Only for it to be sent back to me saying, no, we need your backup. So not understanding the process as a small business can hurt you, because now you've missed the deadline for that pay cycle, which pushes you into 60 days pay cycle, whereas it's not intentional, but because you didn't get the process correct, then you get delays.
Exactly. Not knowing as you say, what you don't know.
Correct.
And that's what happened to a lot of businesses during the pandemic, or here we are still in the pandemic. It isn't over. A lot of businesses were not able to access PPP or EIDL or state emergency money because they didn't know what they didn't know, didn't have the back, as I say all the time, didn't have the back of their house together, and keeping records. Those things are so important. Um, the last question I have for you um, is what would be the advice that you would give to small business during these times?
I would say first and foremost, take the time, like you said, to get your house in order. If you don't have a proper accounting, get a proper accounting. You don't have a proper uh, paperwork together, take the time to get it together. Because if you are going to look to one scale, they're going to ask you for these information. And if you are going to have to put the information together when you have the opportunity, that opportunity is going to go on by without you. So you want to take the opportunity. First, you got to figure out what space you want to work in. And once you figure out what space you want to work in, find out the requirements to work in that space. Then take the time and get your business in order to function in that space. That's when you succeed. But if you go in the space and try to learn it at that moment, I believe that's why a lot of small businesses do not succeed for that reason.
Right, right. So I did say that was the last question, but you become a member of the chamber. What would you tell folks who have thought about joining the chamber? There are many different chambers all across Broward and Dade County. Why would you say it's important to be a member of the chamber? And I would say in particular the Miami-Dade Chamber.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. First thing that I will say is not all chambers are alike. Again, it goes back to what are your needs? What are you hoping to accomplish? Because I mean, I could join several chambers, but I chose the Miami-Dade Chamber because they have a platform. They have many platforms to cater to many businesses, but they also had a platform that I was looking for where I can walk in and ask staff to say, hey, I would like an introduction to this individual. Does any staff know them? What's your relationship like that with them? And to get that help. Hey, I don't understand this. Is there a workshop that I could go to for this? And to get all of that personalized one-on-one, it's phenomenal. I think that the Miami-Dade Chamber overextend themselves to make sure that they that they are getting the right information to the right individuals.
Well, absolutely, and you were right. We make sure, like I said, we talk about the pandemic. We were on each and every day providing information to members and non-members of the chamber. That's to the business community at large. We pivoted to 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Fridays at 4 o'clock, and now just this past week we went back to having in-person events. So we will have an in-person event the last Friday of every month moving forward, but we will continue to do our meetups on Tuesday, our virtual meetups. So you can join us here at the chamber, www.m-dcc. So Margaret, if someone wants to get in touch with Mr. Wireman, how can they do that?
Yes, so you can look us up on our website at mrwireman.com. I can be reached at Margaret A at mrwireman.com, and our phone number is 954-792-4990.
Repeat that number, Margaret.
954-792-4990.
So those of you who are watching, please join us this Friday. We're going to be at the Little Haiti Cultural Center at 9 a.m. It's off of 57th Street Northeast 2nd Avenue. You can get the information on our website, www.m-dcc. Mayor Kava will be our guest speaker there. The event doors open at 9 o'clock. We wish that you join us. We also will have Brightline there talking about employment opportunities with Brightline. You know, that is the train that runs from Miami-Dade County to Broward to Palm Beach and eventually up to Orlando. And also we'll have the University of Miami there talking about opportunities to do business with the University of Miami. I tell you, I had a conversation with the University of Miami a couple weeks ago, Margaret, and I don't know, do you do business with the University of Miami by any chance?
Not directly. I have done some work as a subcontractor, but I am looking forward to that conversation.
Yeah, it's going to be a great conversation because the one thing that they said, and they said it to me personally as we were meeting, that their intention is to increase minority business, double minority business by 2025. But the other thing they said, they want to triple doing business with black businesses, triple doing business with black businesses. You heard what I said, triple doing business with black businesses by 2023. So please be there on Friday to engage with the University of Miami, as well as Brightline and others. If you want to get in touch with the Chamber, once again, www.m-dcc.org, or call the Chamber at 305-751-8648 to learn more information about what we have going on. In July, we have our Women's Business Council that will present the Little Black Dress in Pearls, Women, Words, and Wisdom. Women, Wealth, and Wisdom. They do so many different events. But anyway, Margaret, thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you hopefully on Friday. And look forward to you blowing it up. As you say, it's a rocket. We look forward to it being 10 spaceships going up at one time.
Thank you, and it was my pleasure.
Thank you so much.